Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to show you how to create a positive and negative paper collage. We will use the Star Wars Rebel Shield, and let's have some fun. Okay, so the very first thing we're gonna do here is we are going to draw the symbol. And to do that, I'm just going to create this circle and I'm going to double that line. So when I'm cutting it, I have that half circle shape to use as my positive. The next thing I'm gonna do, of course, is create the actual logo of the shield, which is that wing shape thingy that I don't really know what it is, but I'm using this half circle again, and I'm just going to create the drawing. Now, one thing that is important to remember is because this symbol, this shield, is symmetrical, I don't really have to draw the whole thing. I just need to draw half of it, and when I make my cut, then I will flip to the other side, and by having two halves I can put it together and make one whole shield. So that's what I'm doing. The next step now is, of course, I'm going to cut my design, and I'm going to do this with an X-Acto knife. Be careful not to cut your fingers. And I'm going to cut on the lines. All the lines that I drew are the lines I'm going to be cutting. Sometimes you might have to cut a couple of times to make sure you cut through the paper nicely. So be careful that you don't rip your paper once you are separating the two pieces. So finishing up the cut using my very nice and old X-Acto knife, cutting twice. Now what I'm gonna do is cut the wing shape logo thingy from the design. So finishing up my cuts right here, making sure that everything's nice and separated. Maybe need to trim a little bit more there, make sure I get everything off. Everything's okay. Now that everything's separated, I'm ready to start putting together. So my background for this design is going to be a black paper. So what I'm gonna do is figure out the best way to put this together and how they're gonna fit all together. So now I'm just going to recreate my design to make sure I have make sure that what I had in mind is actually translating to what I want, and there it is. I'm going to divide this paper in half, not really divide, just make a mark so I know where the half of the paper is. So when I put my design on, I will have right in the center of the paper. The next step, of course, is just to add my glue and glue it down on my guidelines in the middle of the page. One important thing to remember is to measure your cuts against your original design, so that way you know that your project is in the right spot and that the symmetry matches one with the other. So I'm gonna do that, and now I'm just going back and forth figuring out where my pieces need to go in order to make sure my project makes sense. And the last piece I'm gonna put down right now. One thing to keep in mind is once you work on this type of assignment, you have the option to make your collage, which side you're gonna glue on, and the best thing to do is decide which side of your cuts look the best, and then just orient yourself that way so your display, the part of your design that is showing, is always the best. Just cutting off the excess paper and it is done. Just like that, I have my positive and negative collage on paper using Star Wars Rebel Shield as a example.